Hello and welcome to my new studio. I used to shoot videos in my college dorm room, but then after I graduated, I moved into my very own apartment where I was finally able to have some actual space. The only thing was I was shooting my videos in my living room, so I never really felt like I had a real place to live. And that all changed when I moved to Los Angeles because my previous apartment had its own dedicated bedroom just to make videos in. However, I've been feeling a little bit cramped because in that one room, which is 10 foot by 10 foot, I have to film all of my videos, edit all of my videos, do all of my benchmarking, work on devices in videos or outside of videos, film a podcast every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. It's called Dark Mode. You should check it out. That's a lot of things to do all in one room. And that's why I moved here. So I've been moving in now for a couple of days and I want to give you guys a tour of the progress so far. So first off, we have my editing room. And that setup looks like this. It's the first thing that I set up here. I used the slat walls that I used to have at my old apartment, and I put this up pretty quickly because I needed to get some videos done. In fact, you probably recognize this set because I've been filming in it for a little while now. But the main reason why I moved was to get more space. So I'm going from filming everything in one bedroom to now having 3 rooms that I can film in. And that means that I finally get to set up something that I've been wanting to build for a long time, and that is a channel set that is inspired by the Apple Store over the years. I've got a pretty big vision for this one, so let's get on with the tour and setup process right after a word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Opera. Aria is Opera's powerful tool that helps you with everything you do in Opera. From research to learning and creativity, you can generate text, images, and get answers easily. Just hit Control or Command / to bring up the versatile command line interface. And if you're like me and you're constantly drowning in tabs, this can help you sort things out easily. You can ask Aria to close tabs inactive for more than 2 minutes, for example. Or tell it to close all of your YouTube tabs to help clean up your clutter. Aria can provide multimodal responses with links to useful websites, and it can even compose text. All done super easily from the command line interface. So to learn more about Opera, check out the link in the description below. A big thanks to them for sponsoring today's video, and now let's get back to it. So as I mentioned, this room is set up to be my editing workroom, but we have 2 other rooms, so let's carry on with the tour. Because the other rooms are not even remotely ready. First though, I love having a little bit of storage out here so I can have my 3D printer and it doesn't have to be in the background of a shot or something like that. Now, this room is sort of up for debate. I don't really know exactly what I want to do with this yet, but this is the main event. This is why you're here. The idea is to sort of shoot from over here back. So, first thing I did was buy this. Wow, look at him. That looks very sort of Apple Store-y. That's kind of the whole vibe for this entire project. So we've got these slat walls from Wood Veneer Hub, and those are gonna go up on that wall. And then on this wall, I have a plan that, well, it got a bit derailed. This is kind of one of the craziest ideas that I've ever come up with. What I'm planning on doing in the other room is creating the Genius Bar. So in this box are 9 sheets of 4 foot by 2 foot anodized aluminum. So the plan is to somehow mount these to this wall and have it kind of look like the background at an Apple Store. I think it's really gonna come together. Only problem is they're all dented. Every single one of these panels that I bought has a massive dent in the corner. Yeah, see, it's not just this top sheet. They kind of damaged the whole thing. So now it's like a whole claim with UPS to hopefully get them to replace these so that I'll get another set of 9 and then I can build my cool wall, assuming that those don't get damaged as well. Anyway, that's the plan so far. I think it's gonna work pretty well, but obviously a lot needs to happen. So let's get started. The first thing I needed to do was assemble my film gear and mount some blackout curtains, and then we can move on to the slat wall. Now, these wall panels I got from Wood Veneer Hub.
They're a lot higher quality than the darker slat wall that I have in my office setup. And my favorite thing about these slat walls as an accent is, first of all, it's very Apple story. Like, you take a look at any Apple keynote, you're gonna see slat walls, but also they're backed with acoustic foam, so they kind of do double duty in that respect. But of course, there are some obstacles like these outlets that I want to keep exposed, so I used a miter saw to make those cuts. And because of the placement of the outlets, I ended up having to make those cuts in 3 of the panels, but most of them were able to go up completely unobstructed. And I think this came together really well. The gaps are very uniform. You can't see where one panel starts and ends. And I think I did a pretty good job cutting around those outlets. But obviously we do still have that gap at the bottom here. And so I measured it to make sure that I was gonna have enough material, because I did buy a spare wall panel for this eventuality. And to my luck, there is exactly enough length in this to cut a spare piece for every single one of the panels. So next was basically just a matter of marking off and cutting this spare panel down to size. And yes, I am using a miter saw as a counterweight to keep the panel steady. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this made a complete mess of the backyard with all that sawdust, but fortunately, all of the panels fit really, really well. Obviously, the wood grain isn't completely uniform, but most of these panels are going to be covered, so this was mainly an exercise in getting this to look good on camera, and I think it was very successful. The fitment came out really well, and I think the wall looks great. So now it's time to add a couple of accents that I think will make this look a little bit more Apple story. We've obviously got my cabinet, and I've got this glowing mid-century lamp that looks like something you could see in Tim Cook's office.
Now, if you guys have watched the channel at all, you know that I love these seamless LED rope lights. I absolutely love this diffused look that doesn't flicker on camera, doesn't show the individual LEDs. And I've had these for a bunch of years, and I basically just keep cutting them down to use them in different things as I need them. And so what we're gonna do for this particular one is backlight my console table. I don't know that that's necessarily something that you would find in an Apple store, but they do have those illuminated shelves, so I feel like this could kind of give us a similar effect. And we're gonna try to do this in a simplified process. We've got the rope light itself, but these things are a little bit tricky to install because they're all wrapped in silicone, so you can't just put adhesive strips directly on them because they always come off, and they've been very frustrating. So what I've got instead is this aluminum channel with a diffuser that goes on top of it.
So the installation process ended up being pretty easy. Once I used the miter saw to cut the channel down to size, I laid the rope light inside it and then snapped the diffuser light on the outside. No glue at all. Next, I cut the rope light and the diffuser to size to finish it all up, and then I put some command strips on the back of the channel and then stuck it to the back of the desk. I think it looks super duper clean, and it came out really, really well.
So I'm loving how things are turning out so far, and we're gonna keep things going with yet more lighting. Now, in my last apartment, I tried to do a top-down cove lighting setup with an LED strip casting light on the slat wall, but it didn't come out exactly as I was hoping. I was okay with it, but it wasn't fantastic. And the other day I was trolling around on Wayfair when I found a seller that has these styrofoam LED cove light inserts, which are super duper light. I mean, it's made out of molded styrofoam, but it's got like a nice finish on it, and I think it would look really good for what we're doing here. Now, I ended up getting 2 of them, and I marked and cut one of them down to size with my miter saw, so we should be able to get a pretty seamless wall that has coverage all the way across it. And to complement it, I'm gonna be using an IKEA LED strip. Now, the reason that I got this will become clear later when we talk about smart lighting, but for now, I bought it because it doesn't flicker on camera and it was cheap. And crucially, it has a really long lead, which means you can plug it in on a wall level and run that wire all the way up to the top. And because this is just an LED strip and some styrofoam, it's really light, which means I think we could get away with just using some command strips. So let's see if this turns out okay.
So the first step was to put some command strips on the top section and stick our molding to the ceiling. Honestly, was really happy with how this was looking so far. So then I did the larger section, and that's when I started really getting excited about how this looks. It is super duper clean and minimal and seamless. So then it was just a matter of sticking the light strip to the underside and turning it on. This came out unbelievably well. I think it's a lot more successful than my previous iteration of it. It's way more seamless and hidden, and it provides a nice even illumination on that slat wall. Plus we have a very, very subtle hidden wire that's off to the right off camera. Now, I've been shooting videos with this back wall for a little while now, and I really like how it looks on camera, but now we need to come back to those damaged aluminum panels.
So it's been about a month and a half since that part of the video because I've been waiting on this second batch of wall panels. I had to go through a whole UPS claim, and then they had to send the claim money back to the manufacturer. They had to manufacture new ones and then ship them to me. It's been a massive process. And unfortunately, I'm not out of the woods yet because earlier in this video, I did a little bit of foreshadowing. So now it's like a whole claim with UPS to hopefully get them to replace these, assuming that those don't get damaged as well. Yeah, when the new batch showed up, they are also dented, though fortunately this time it is a lot smaller, so we're just gonna kind of roll with it. I've talked to the manufacturer and I'm hopefully gonna get a partial refund, and I'm just gonna use a mallet to try to hammer these out, and hopefully it should still work. So the idea is we're now going to be mounting these kind of vertically, right? So the dent will hopefully come out, but the damaged corners will be at the bottom. And then when I mount the top ones like this, then the damaged corners are at the top. So I think it should be fine. There's really only one way to find out, and that's to just try it. So let's go.
Fortunately, using a soft rubber mallet, I was able to get the dents mostly out. Now, obviously, it's never going to be 100% perfect, but I think with my mounting strategy, it won't be super noticeable on camera. And that brings us to the next obstacle, which is the outlet. Boy, it's sure fun figuring out ways to cut material just to make room for outlets. But anyway, I grabbed a pen, marked off where I need to make the cuts, and then I used some tin snips to cut out where the outlet will go. I'll be honest, it was not the cleanest cut that I've ever done, but fortunately the outlet plate will cover most of these rough edges. So I used the rubber mallet to kind of flatten out the material, and now it was time to put on some command strips. That's right, all I'm using to mount this is command strips. These sheets are aluminum, they only weigh about 10 pounds each, so using command strips on all the corners to make sure they lie flat is really all we need to do. And the method I'm using leaves half the command strip exposed, so the next panel will share that same strip. And the reason I did that is because I want these panels to sit as flush as possible, so if they're sharing that adhesive, then the amount that they stick out from the wall should be pretty uniform, allowing the panels to look flush. So once I made my outlet cutout on the second panel, I tried installing it, and honestly, I was pretty happy with how this was coming out. So the next step was to try mounting one above to make sure that that was going to sit flush as well. And from there, honestly, things got a lot easier because I didn't need to make any more cuts. It was just a matter of putting command strips on, lining everything up, and filling out the rest of the wall. So with all the panels mounted and cleaned, it was time to set up the shot. I moved my set pieces to make them look the most balanced on camera, and I'm also going to be adding this vintage iMac poster from the original G3 iMac. This is a poster that you would have found in your Best Buy or your local electronics store when these things were new, and I think it makes a really nice addition to our Apple-themed studio. So things are coming along really well, and now I want to talk about lighting. I alluded to this earlier when I was explaining why I bought this IKEA light strip to go at the top of the wall, and I picked that because I've been using IKEA's smart home accessories in my office space up here. They're really easy to use, and you can actually pair them directly to switches without using an app, so if you wanted to just make the setup operate on a light switch, You can. I've been using this in my office setup, which I showed earlier in the video, and it works really seamlessly. So let's set it up here as well. It's super easy to get this set up, and I decided to plug in the lamp and my light strip to the same smart outlet. Then we just put a AAA battery in the smart switch and then hold down the pairing button while we also hold down the button on the smart outlet, which will pair them together. And then I simply repeated these steps for the light strip. The strip itself can be paired through the IKEA Home app, but I decided to just use another smart plug so that I could rig everything up to the smart switch. And just like that, it all works perfectly. So I used the included adhesive and magnet attachment to mount this on the wall for a very clean finish. And next up, I want to clear up some of the floor space. So I want to take my secondary light, which I currently have on a C-stand off to the right, and I want to mount that on the ceiling. So I found this mount on Amazon, and from there it was a pretty simple process of installing some drywall anchors, installing the mount on the ceiling, and then installing my Aperture 120D. And now we've got a pretty clean setup with this light way up out of the way, leaving a ton of extra floor space.
So overall, I'm really happy with the way that this set has come out. It's not the most complicated, not the most intricate set in the world, but I think it accomplished the goal of emulating the effect of an Apple Store really well. I'm extremely pleased with how these aluminum wall panels came out. I think the slat wall looks great, and I can't wait to shoot videos in here. And one of the best parts about this is with my new lighting setup here, I have complete 360-degree access because it's way up out of the way. I can walk underneath it, I can put gear over here, I can shoot from this direction. It just opens up a lot of floor space. But of course, this isn't the only room that I've been setting up here. So let me give you guys a bit of a final walkthrough of the different sets that you're gonna see here on the channel if you're interested. So here's a full room look at what we've set up today. The only thing left to do in here is probably get some aluminum cut down to size so that I can plug those gaps there. It's not really on camera very much, but it would be nice to have just a little bit more continuity if I need it. But let me show you some of the other rooms as well here. This is the secondary set that I've been building. I basically just kind of whipped this together. I used some leftover wall panels that I hadn't been using, and I bought these sconces before I even moved here. I had them at my old place, didn't end up finding a place to use them, so I got some of this wallpaper here, which I think has a really cool texture on it, and that's kind of how I ended up with this room. So the total cost, I think I spent 80 bucks on both of those sconces and like $100 on the wallpaper, and I think this came out really well. So this is sort of a versatile space, and I actually filmed a lot of my iPhone 16e content in here. I think it looked pretty decent, so I'm very happy with that. And then of course, that's the main set here. If we come down the hallway, this is the office as I have it set up now. I changed out the curtains a while ago. I've got a little side cabinet here. And yeah, I mean, that is the full setup. As of when I'm filming this, I still have my Mac Pro. We'll see if that lasts because obviously there's some new M3 Ultra stuff on the way.
I'm curious to know what you guys think of this project, so let me know in the comments down below, and I can't wait to start creating more content up here as soon as possible. So of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.